What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another trade recap where today I made a total of $1,450. And I want to quickly just talk about the previous series that I had that was going on. I did have to cancel it because it's going to be updated on my Instagram. I ended up making far too much on them accounts because I realized I am trying to show you guys a journey. And on the first day I passed them, I ended up making 2K on them accounts. And there's absolutely no point in documenting that journey for you guys if I've already went past the amount that I need. Because let's just say I caught some sells and I was in them sells with 20 contracts and yeah, made quite a bit. But anyways, we're going to be starting a new series, not with these accounts. I'm going to announce that and everything. This is just a lovely trade recap for you guys. Remember, you can get 40% off Alpha Futures accounts if you use code DJ at checkout or even to reset your accounts. But let's get straight into the trade recap. So coming into the charts, I originally started with a bullish bias and then I did kind of go to more neutral because I could see price coming down much lower. But here's what we had. We had a new week opening gap that NQ had already filled, but ES did not fill. As you can see, big gap, we had a small tap and went higher. And honestly, ES was the main reason for me even taking my longs, just seeing the reaction. A lot of my analysis kind of came from how ES was reacting off price. Because as you can see, we just tapped that new week opening gap and we had a lovely reaction going higher. And so seeing the same thing over here, I wanted to see how this 5-minute was going to hold, because this was the only gap that we had, a bearish 5-minute gap. And we could see price come back into it, and then we could get the reaction down to go down to this hourly low. But price closes above that 5-minute. But the way that it closed was a little bit too fast for me, so I didn't want to get in on that because RR-wise it would not have made sense. Because our 5-minute candle closed up here and I wanted to see a lovely bit of confirmation, being that 5-minute closing nice and strong. But for RR reasons, I wouldn't want to get in exactly on that close because I would need my stop below this gap just in case we retraced. And at first I was just targeting this area. And this area was a 4-hour fair value gap. Just an imbalanced price action, just because if you see here, this area is imbalanced. We haven't got any wicks to meet up. This would be a fair value gap, so I just wanted to target this general area. Looks very confusing with all the patchiness, but 4-hour fair value gap, that's what I wanted to see. And so then what happens? I see price finally give us that little move down. Honestly, if it wanted to continue without me, I was just going to let it because at the end of the day, I'm not the one to dictate where price goes. But I do know that we had this 1-minute bullish gap underneath us. And if we want to see price go higher, we should be respecting the bullish gaps because that's how we should form our bias. If we are bullish, we want to see bullish being respected and bearish getting disrespected. And in this case, we've come down and we're testing this. I'll be completely honest, I wanted to enter as soon as we went above this bearish gap, because over here there was a very good chance that we could possibly get a nice close, but I needed to make sure we got that confirmation, because as you can see, we are still quite volatile. Maybe we came a little bit higher and then just pushed down much lower, and I wouldn't want to get an early entry and then get myself stopped out from that. But what does price then come ahead and do? It just keeps continuing and continuing, and then yes, I did enter before the candle closed, but that's because this was pretty much confirmed that we was going to close up much higher. We had seconds left and I was honestly fine with this position. I first had my stop below here because I wanted to have the safest possible stop loss, because price could wick through this gap, which it did. And as you can see, we created that BPR at the time. And what does price do? We get a nice wick down, rebalance, fill in this BPR price action. We don't even get a candle closure below, and then we start getting our moves up very slowly. We did consolidate for a while, but I still had my conviction in this trade, also because ES was just, it was continuing higher. Nothing was going to be slowing it down. And then I went break even at this high that we created, just because this gave us a very bearish reaction. So if it was to come up here again, I'm expecting price to possibly reverse onto me, but no, we end up hitting TP on that one with a lovely exit at that 4-hour. Now I'm looking to see how is price going to react. On most days, I would love to target the hourly buy side, because we basically had an SMT with ES up there. So in a way, it's a protected high. But overall, if we look at the week on the daily, we can see that there is a higher time frame SMT. We have this low and then we have this low. ES has not taken it. NQ did. And this on ES looks like a very bullish reaction that I do love, and I can see price soaring through higher. And literally last week with my students, I was telling them, I want to see bullish reactions from ES and NQ this week just because of what we've done on the higher time frames. Weekly, we can see we have a weekly SMT, that one I'm talking about. We've filled this gap. Did we get there? No, we haven't. We filled this gap and it looks like we want to go higher. Everything that we do on the lower time frames also happen on the higher time frames. So if I'm looking for like a swing position, I would definitely be saying price looks like it wants to go higher. Obviously, you need your other confirmations to be sure about that, but just seeing how the market is moving, it does cement my bias being long. Anyways, for the second trade, it was a continuation trade. We had a 5-minute gap inside of this leg, and what did we see price do? Tap into it, and we were getting rejections higher. Same thing with ES at that time. We had a 5-minute gap, but we didn't tap into it. ES was the leading index, and seeing ES and how it wanted to act, I was fine taking that continuation. This would have been a trade, honestly, that I would just love. However, because of my risk management and because of last week, I took a couple unnecessary losses. Still was up on the week. I was hesitant with this. I didn't entirely want to enter, so drafted it out. We had that tap, a little 1-minute SMT at the lows, and price was moving higher. From this point, honestly, I saw that it was most likely going to be a stop trade for these lows, whoever was there, and see price continue higher, but I just needed that extra confirmation within myself. And then, yeah, price is just doing its thing, stop below that low and then targeting that high where there's liquidity. Could even have targeted that high where that SMT first started. But no, honestly, I'm very fine with these two positions, was very bullish on the day and got price to play out in that direction too. And that's pretty much it for this trade recap. There isn't a whole lot to go off, but price was pretty clean. Other than the fact that we were chopping around a little bit, price did very well. I'm going to be getting back with this series very soon, like I said in the beginning. I'm just figuring out how I should do it, and I definitely shouldn't be making too much money on them accounts because I want to show you the proper process. I don't want to show you the rushed process and like how I can very quickly make money, because it's very easy to kind of go in 20 contracts. Like, that's over leveraging to an extent, and that's actually what I did, because I did risk over my 500. A lot of the times on these funded accounts, I risk 500 just to lock in my profits. 500 is enough. That means when I first have an account, I have 4 trades before I blow the account. So I'm fine with leaving it as that, but with them accounts, I decided to risk 1,000, and yeah, price went heavily in my favor. I don't want to be showing you guys the rush process. I want to show you guys exactly what you should be doing and how to get to your payout. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next trade recap or the next YouTube video. Peace.